Okay. Are we live?
It says live.
It says live. I believe we are live. I'm going to start talking anyway. So I'm here with Raven Todd de Silva, archaeologist, author, content creator, I think tour guide now as well. Many strings to your bow. Many bows.
Yeah.
That's not the saying. I don't know, whatever the saying is. You've got many strings.
I do a lot of things. I do too many things. I guess we can say tour guide. I host archaeology themed tours. But I used to also be a tour guide in Amsterdam.
Did you actually?
Very fun
oh, that's
job.
cool.
Yeah.
That's
I used to do the red light district tours.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Oh, very cool. Well, I mean, to be honest, I'm very impressed. The thing that impresses me the most is the writing of the book, because that's hard. Writing a book is hard. Let's see the book, Raven. Let's see the book.
I don't recommend writing a book when you have a full-time job.
Yeah. I mean, look at that snazzy title.
Here
look at that. The Other Ancient Civilizations. Very nice. Very nice.
Very nice cover. I will have to just caveat, if anyone wants to read the book, it is currently only available on audiobook format at the moment. But I am working diligently to get it reprinted. So keep your eyes peeled to see this back on shelves very soon. But publisher issues.
Yes. That's the problem with a book, isn't it? It's if the publisher goes under, I probably shouldn't say much more, but there's not much you can do about it, is there? It's not really like your own thing.
No, I am beholden to the powers that be, but I have all the rights back, so it's me just sort of now seeing if I can get it anywhere else. So fingers crossed. Yeah.
That's good. That's good that you got the rights back. How are you? How are you doing? How's your day going?
Yeah, good. Busy. Full work day.
Busy day.
It is Monday. But lots of exciting things. Going to Egypt in 2 weeks with a big group of people who follow me on various channels. So I'm very excited to meet them and go back to Egypt, which is fantastic.
Excellent.
Yeah. So far so good. How are you doing?
I'm good. I mean, you've got a full-time day job, which is actually to do with archaeology, which is awesome. I haven't got a full-time day job. This is what I do all day. So I just faff around in my office reading things and putting videos together.
The dream.
So it's good. It's a good day. Yeah, it's a good day. But it's nice to speak to other history people, history creators and all that. That's why, I've been enjoying these conversations.
Nice. I've been
Let's cut to the chase.
Them, so.
Well, have you? Oh, well, there we go. Yeah. We've had some good names on so far. Yeah. But I know that you're possibly a little bit pressed for time today. So I think let's just flipping dive in. Let's just get going. I mean, we've got 10 forgotten ancient civilizations here. And of course, civilization is a term that doesn't really mean much. It can mean whatever we want it to mean, really, because it's just one of those terms. But they're pretty interesting. They're pretty interesting ancient cultures. As you're the guest, I'll let you go first. Where should we go? We're going to go in our time machine. But I know I'm putting you on the spot a little bit here, but we'll just, I can jump in as well and talk some nonsense. Where do I want to go
first? Where do we go first? Since the title was Lost Civilizations, I believe.
Yeah. I think
let's
forgotten,
go for the one.
Forgotten, lost, ancient, unfound, I don't know, other buzzwords.
Mysterious.
Mysterious.
Where did it come from? Let's go with the one that was actually lost for a little bit of time, and that is Dilmun.
Oh, yeah, this is good, because then that transitions nicely to my one. So I'll share my screen. Here we go, magic. There we go.
Ooh.
Okay. Oh, we'll look at the map. We
love a map. I give you maps, and because it works for the next whatever you're going to do as well. So we'll keep the suspense. I'm not going to tell anyone what pizza.
Good.
Have a guess around there.
Yeah,
so
we can guess.
Dilmun, as you can see, is modern day Bahrain in that Arabian Gulf era there in the Persian Gulf, and it dates to, let's say roughly the 3rd millennium BC. Think of the time of the Sumerians, the Akkadians, the Babylonians, around that time period, the Indus Valley, as it says on the side here, Malua. And I like to start with this one because it actually was lost for a time. It was like literally this amazing middle point for trade for so long. It was a household name in the area, and it was also a sacred place, considered a sacred place by the Sumerians, where gods and heroes were like immortal. Think about Epic of Gilgamesh. Their Utnapishtim allegedly lived in Dilmun. This was the ancient Garden of Eden, but it was a real place. It was, mentioned in a lot of trading documents, but for some reason it declined, and then we lost all idea of like where it was. We essentially forgot about it. And that's why I want to talk with Dilmun first. Start with Dilmun.
It's like correct me if I'm wrong, but it's only rediscovered in the 1950s, right?
Well, it was a
that's when
yes and
when
no.
the Europeans arrived anyway. But that's my Western outlook on it.
Pretty much. There was I would say it kind of started ish around the late 1800s.
Nice.
So they were in cuneiform inscriptions were being deciphered, and one of them was about the Akkadian king Sargon, and he kind of mentions that to all of the other foreign lands he brought under sway as far as the border of Dilmun. And then he's actually gave us directions till Dilmun. It was 30 double hours away in the midst of the sea of the rising sun, which doesn't sound very helpful, but it actually was to people. Not for me. I would have been like, who knows where that is?
Yeah, where the hell is that?
Yeah. But if you're sailing from Sumer type area, you can go down. Apparently that's the distance. Someone knew. Yeah.
And it's kind of it's a relatively small world at that point. I mean, there's only one sea next to the Sumerians, isn't there? I mean, there's obviously the Mediterranean, but it's quite far away, really. Their local sea is the Persian Gulf.
Exactly. So, they didn't really have far to look, especially if they knew that they were trading with.
And just follow the coast, I suppose.
Places. Hope so. Like pretty much that. I'm not a sailing expert, but she says with 2 sailing people on her list. But anyway.
Hey, well, it's sailing ancient people are super interesting.
Yes, they are. So let's say Dilmun rose to prominence 2000 BCE. They were trading copper from Magan in Oman. They were also a really good local exporter of dates, freshwater pearls, and freshwater itself. So they had freshwater springs that sort of were underwater, under the salt water. I still don't understand how that works, but there's salt water and then fresh water coming up into it. And people would go down with sacks, like animal skins, and go and capture the fresh water to bring it up for people who were trading, who needed fresh water to go to these far off lands like the Indus Valley and Malua, all the way over there. So they could restock, which was a very, very key point for them, very conveniently located.
Super interesting. I mean, it's still a middle point today, isn't it? It's still like a sort of middleman of trade coming through. Unfortunately, a bit dodgy timing for this episode at the moment, but
people are, I say, not able to travel through anywhere around there right now, unfortunately, which is a bit of an issue. But so that's Dilmun. There were planned cities. The issue with Dilmun, I'm not sure I forget what I sent you now. We have an image of I think that was it. Let's see. That's some of
Is this the fort? I know there's a fort.
So that might be Capital Al Bahrain.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, and it's a Portuguese fort, but underneath they found evidence from thousands of years before.
Yes, exactly. So there's a full urban site, fortification walls, and it's pretty fantastic. There's even some evidence of people renovating houses over time as families grew. So people were there for the long haul. There's, a lot of storage. And what I think is interesting is that they were this complex society, but they didn't have a writing system.
So that's interesting. That's it. That's interesting. Completely oral society.
Yeah. And, but it's interesting because they were in contact with literate, highly administrative, organized cultures. Think about Mesopotamia. They wrote everything down, and the Indus Valley had the stamp seals. So there was some sort of record keeping. And if you're doing commercial trade between the two, you'd think that they would need to have their own. But if they
Yes,
did develop
you
one,
would.
yeah, we just don't have any evidence for it yet. So
Has any cuneiform been found in Dilmun? Were they using cuneiform script?
they have found weights and measures from the Indus Valley. And so
Right.
they might have also borrowed the script. I think I also sent you a photo of a seal. Yes.
Oh, here we go. We like a seal.
Da, 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 da. So it looks very Indus, right?
Oh, it does, yeah.
So I think I'm no expert, but it's possible that they, have just pick and chose what they wanted from the people they were dealing with and just made it whatever was easiest for people. And maybe they probably wrote on like an organic material that's just decomposed and we'd have no trace of it in the archaeological record.
Oh, it makes you think what's been lost, doesn't it? Yeah. Maybe they did have a script. That's what I always think. Like, maybe they did have a script, but, who knows? There are plenty of amazing societies that didn't have any writing system throughout history. So it's not like you need a writing system necessarily.
No.
But, I suppose it helps with trade and things like that. Keeping a record of things, doesn't it?
Yeah, especially for things like this.
Ooh, I've got to show this.
Yes, the mounds. So this and then the copper bull's skull that I've also sent to you. They are fun because essentially Dilmun became a melting pot of all of these different cultures. It's beautiful, isn't it? I'm sorry that's the only good picture I could find.
No, that's fine. Is this full sized? Is it like a small version? Do we know?
I haven't found
size it is?
any descriptions of it. It's decently sized, but I think it's smaller than
an actual bull's head.
We would want it to be. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. So we have these mounds, as you showed. They're burial chambers in different styles as well. So these are just the mounds, but inside there were like entire complexes. They were large enough to lay like a few people inside, and they were very lavish. Some of the biggest ones were over 12 meters high, so they're very big.
That's massive.
I know some of them are really big. And you're buried with just a variety of customs. So you've got ceramic vessels from maybe Mesopotamia. You've got jewelry from Malua, metal objects, food offerings, and obviously the fancier you were, the fancier your stuff would have been, like ivory boxes and things like that. But I do love just showing that like this is what the ancient world was all about in a lot of places, was this mixing of cultures and these interaction spheres, as we call them. And we're just sharing a lot of knowledge and sharing these cultures or these practices. And that's what the bull head also kind of shows as well, because it is very like, Mesopotamian. If you think of like Ur and the bull, I think there's one on a lyre or a stringed instrument.
From Ur?
From Ur, yeah.
That's in the British Museum, yeah.
It is, yes. And so there's a bull on that, but it looks a little bit different. So there's elements of like Mesopotamian influence, but the Dilmun one kind of like they made it their own. The unique horn shape, the hollow eyes, the flattened muzzle. We can see that they were inspired by Mesopotamia, but then they were like, let's just tweak it to reflect our little local taste.
Super interesting. And there are so many of these burial mounds as well. It's like there are tens of thousands of these burial mounds. Loads of them have been destroyed because it's just like, where else do you build? Because it's like the entire island is. I mean, we should just hammer it home. Bahrain, it's not that big. It's quite a small little island, really, and it's just covered in archaeology. Absolutely covered in it. So
much, and it's like so underrated. Because I didn't even know about Dilmun, having studied Mesopotamia until I was writing the book.
Oh, really? Oh, nice. Yeah. I stumbled upon a book in a second-hand bookshop called Looking for Dilmun by an archaeologist called Geoffrey Bibby. And he went there. He was an oil man in the 1950s, and he went there and sort of started off the digging with I think it's the Danes as well. It was a Danish expedition.
I think
that's an interesting one. Yeah, if anybody wants to check that out, Looking for Dilmun. I don't even know if it's in print anymore. It's just one of those random finds that you get in a second-hand bookshop.
There is a copy
Love
at the
it.
British Library. If
Oh,
anyone
there we
is
go.
interested, yeah.
There we
So
go.
I read
Someone
it
should
from.
go check that out. Oh,
Yeah.
you read? Yeah, you read it. You know that
Yeah.
book.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
So yeah, that's Dilmun, short and sweet.
All right,
And I guess
nice.
that
That's Dilmun.
leads in greatly to where you're headed
leads nicely,
next.
yeah. Because so if we are Sargon of Akkad, with his invasion fleet, he goes down to Dilmun. He doesn't stop there. Allegedly, he goes all the way down to Magan. So this area here, on what is now the coast of Oman, is also filled with archaeology, and it's also just a really interesting place. I will show you some images now of Oman, because I was lucky enough to go there.
Nice.
And we'll have a look at some of these archaeological sites, because these are a bit more rustic people, I suppose, than Dilmun. They're not quite as... They don't build big cities. They don't have the same kind of urban infrastructure, really. But what they do is they build, for some reason, round towers absolutely everywhere. So this is one of the round towers of what could be referred to as Magan. It's not sort of definitively Magan, but it's like a lot of archaeologists think that it probably is, because it makes sense. It's the next place on the route to Malua, which might not be the Indus Valley civilization, but it probably is. This is a place called Salut, and it's on top of a big hill. It's kind of a hill fort, an Iron Age hill fort, but underneath the Iron Age hill fort is one of these round towers. There's the good image that I had of it. Is this it? Oh, well, this is another one of it.
There we go. Oh, yeah, the round towers are so cool.
Yeah. I mean, do you know about these? You read about these?
So, fun fact, I've actually excavated in Oman.
Oh, have you? Oh, fantastic.
But not
Superb.
anything like this.
Where did you excavate?
Ras Al Jins. So it's like the corner.
I went there too. Yeah. Oh, that's brilliant. Oh, nice.
Right,
I really liked that place. So you know the turtles
place.
then?
Oh, we would every morning.
You hung out with the turtles. Oh,
they would be kind of, the ones who didn't do it at night would be sort of hatching, and we would take our buckets and try and save as many turtles as we could and run them into the water, and then you just watch as the seagulls start picking them off, and your heart drops, and you're like,
oh no.
But
it
was the best place to excavate, because you get to excavate barefoot by the beach.
Oh, amazing.
Yes.
Oh, here we go. Here it is. Here's Ras Al Jins. So
yes.
Yeah, just for context, I suppose this is right on the edge of the Indian Ocean. So if you take the monsoon winds, you can go all the way from here to northern India, to the mouth of the Indus. And people did it all through the Roman period. There's loads of Greek periplus by sailors who recount their journeys to India across the Indian Ocean from roundabout here. And it's thought now that people were doing it all the way back in the 3rd millennium BC, maybe earlier even. Who knows? But from what I understand, there was a load of stuff found at Ras Al Jins, like bitumen, which would be used to make boats. And there was an experimental archaeology project a while ago where they actually made this boat, this sort of reconstruction of what a Magan boat might have looked like. I mean, it might be an Indus Valley boat. It might be like a stopping off point from the Indus Valley in Magan. But yeah, this is an idea of what one of the boats might have looked like, which I think is pretty cool. Do you know about this?
So
Did you hear
cool
about this?
Looking. I honestly only found tiny, tiny shells and maybe 1 or 2 stone beads, and
no boat like this.
No, oh my God, worked. Someone found a big piece of Indus pottery, and that was like the most exciting thing. Ours was very early Bronze Age site, and so like no buildings. It was all tent poles, so it's like very, very basic. But I think it was like the oldest perfume box or some sort of cosmetic box was found.
Oh wow!
Like just a little bit
amazing.
further away from us. But
amazing.
The boats are just so cool, and there's so many you can see when you're driving around Oman.
Yeah, and that's the thing, because they still make them like this today, or like roughly like this today. Yeah, and you can still go to the boatyards and see this traditional method that's been done for hundreds of years, if not thousands of years. What else did I have to say about Magan? Super interesting place. Again, it's probably didn't have writing, or nothing's been found yet anyway, but they did have a lot of copper. They had an abundance of copper, which was big business in the ancient world. So they were probably quite relatively affluent. They were trading a lot with the Indus Valley, trading with Mesopotamia as well. Yeah, probably having a good time until Sargon came and conquered them, apparently. So that probably would have been a bit of a rude awakening, a big Mesopotamian army arriving on their shores, if that is what happened. But I think in that record, actually, it mentions the kings of Magan, and there's like many kings of the region. And I can imagine that if they all were living in these round towers, like this one. You can imagine like just a little family group or something, like an extended family group living in one of those towers. Here's another one, and here's
I
me
wouldn't
for
mind living
reference.
In that.
Yeah, exactly. This is a very well. I don't know. I mean, I feel like this may have been reconstructed a bit. It looks suspiciously well maintained, but I don't know. I might be wrong. Yeah, I don't know why it's all round. It's all round towers, and then also the tombs are all round as well. So this is the tomb complex of Bat, which is a UNESCO World Heritage Site actually, and they're all round again for some reason.
That's crazy. I love them.
Easy way to build? I don't know.
I guess like it's. I don't think you need as many like supports. I don't know.
But whatever it is about this style of building, they went to town on it, and they're everywhere. And when you're driving through the landscape, you see these circular towers on not every, but loads of hilltops. You know, as you're driving through, you see them all over the place. Yeah. And they still, in the last few hundred years, they would still build round towers relatively similar to this, and they seems like they've been doing it for thousands of years. So I'd love the continuity of ancient things into the present. I like that when you see things where they've just sort of people are still doing a similar sort of thing.
Yeah. Hey, if it works, don't fix it, you know?
Yeah, exactly, yeah. What else have I got to say rambling about Magan? Might be it, to be fair. I think that's Magan. I mean, I guess we'll go back to the map briefly. Short and sweet. We've got to smash through another 8 ancient civilizations.
No pressure.
I guess, just we'll have a quick look here. So Ras Al Jin's, there it is on the edge. It's not too far away to get to Mohenjo-Daro, you know, and we pretty much know that people from the Indus Valley were in Magan, right? Or, I mean, it seems like that. Their things are there. Indus Valley things show up a bunch. Interesting.
There was
interesting.
At least that one piece of pottery that
you found.
That Tom found, and and then he just was like,
chucked it.
Kind of like we kept it obviously, but like it was not part of what we wanted to do research wise. So
fair enough. Get rid of it. Just before we move on, I suppose, we should also just talk about how incredible all this stuff is as well. The Girofte culture, the Helmand culture up here. The
Girofte is very cool. I have a video on Girofte if anyone's interested. Also, looks like Dave Miano's in the chat. What's that? Shout out, hey Dave.
Oh, nice, excellent. Then up here, the Oxus civilization or Bactria Margiana, and they're all they're all sort of lost civilizations really, because barely anyone knows about them, and they're all so fascinating. And it's just because mostly they're in difficult places to access, I think, that we don't really know that much about them popularly anyway.
Yeah.
Where are we going? Where's the time machine going?
Where are we going next? Oh, all right. Let's go. Let's just go like complete opposite.
Yeah.
And we'll go to the Amazon.
Oh, yes.
Let's do it.
We'll do another map.
Yes.
Look at that. Look how high quality. Look how high quality that map is.
I do have to.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So high quality.
It's getting there. The issue with talking about lesser known civilizations, of course, is that you don't have a very rich body of images and resources to draw from. So I could have what I should have done is just sent you the maps from my book, because there's some amazing ones that we had made. Yeah.
The viewers will have to just get the book, won't they? So
yeah. I still have a few paperback copies if anyone wants.
All right, everybody contact Raven to get those
Email
books.
me, because that's all the only way you can get it right now. But yes, the maps are beautiful. I'm happy to share the maps. So we are talking about The Marajoara, or Marajoara, I'm not very good at. I'm Portuguese and I can't say things in Portuguese. And
Sounds better than my pronunciation would be.
I've heard someone say
Marajoara.
like, yeah, it's someone that said like Marajoara, but I feel like because of the Portuguese and the Brazil, I'm like, is the zh sound? So it's Marajoara. Anyways.
Well, it sounds good. Sounds
Thank
excellent.
you.
It's
So
modern day Brazil, right?
modern day Brazil.
Modern day Brazil, yeah.
Modern day Brazil, Marajoara Island. It is at like the mouth of the Amazon River in modern day Brazil. It's about the size of the Netherlands. So it's quite a large island. And it is actually the world's largest island that was created by a river.
That's insanely big.
Yeah. You think of an island.
It's so big.
Yeah. It's crazy. And for a long period, many early archaeologists who were investigating. So on Marajoara, I don't have any photos, again, because I think I might have one of a mound. I think I was able to track one down for you.
Yeah.
Because it's just so difficult.
See if
but
we
there
can
are these mounds on this island. The greenish look, yeah.
Oh yeah, here we go. Oh, perfect.
And, that's it. So there's these
Excellent.
mounds, but you can see there's water all around them. And this island is, as it is on the mouth of the Amazon, it's just continually flooded. There's a lot of just flooding issues that happen. And so for decades, people are like, no, any of the archaeological stuff on here was due to migration of people from the Andes. Everything was brought over, and they had this very intensely, beautifully complex pottery. And then because you can't really thrive very well on this island, it declined and everything kind of went kaput from there. But luckily, we know that this is not the case. The people that were living here were actually the ones to make all of the amazing stuff and actually thrive for quite a while on these mounds that were dotted throughout the island. Not everyone was living on a mound. Some people were living in the forest where the flood was a little bit less, but the Marajoara, dating 350 to 1300 CE, so we're going even further, more closer to us now.
Yeah.
They would be living on these mounds that were high enough to, as you can see, circumvent the flood. And you'd get around on boats. And I thought that's so fun. Because it just sounds like something from a fantasy novel. But this is real life.
It's kind of like the Netherlands as well.
That's true.
At least how the Netherlands would have been, before much of the land was reclaimed, because it is a big marsh. It is a big boggy marsh, really.
Yeah. And so that's what they were doing. It's like a savanna climate. So if you want to just imagine hot, rainy, but a very dry summer. And they sort of just took advantage of the food, the marine life that was in there. They haven't done too much studying into what they've eaten. A lot of the human remains that have been found have been male, so everything's a little bit skewed with the research on that as well. So I'm not going to speak to that because it is Women's Month. So.
Oh yeah, we won't talk about what. Hang on, didn't I read there's some sort of matriarchal thing going on? Is it this society or is it the? There's another one. What's the one in Bolivia, the northern Bolivia? There's a similar savanna environment where they also have this kind of architecture, engineering. Llanos del Moxos.
Oh, okay. I don't know that one. That's a fun one.
I've absolutely butchered the pronunciation for sure, but it's a similar, because I'm doing some research at the moment about the Amazon. I absolutely love this new frontier of archaeology because there's so much as well. The entire Amazon basin is filled with things like this. It's so
what
good.
Technology is going to be able to do. It's just fantastic.
Yeah.
This one was thought to be matrilocal, so that's when you're marrying, you move into the woman's side of.
Well, there we go. That's something for International Women's Month.
And they're very cool. I just love them. And there's I love a good, how do I say this? Not lewd, but a very good exposing piece of pottery.
Like the moche.
Like the moche. But
and ancient Greek as well. There's lots of ancient Greek. Yeah.
Yeah. And the Marajoara, they have some fun ones. There's one that's like, I didn't give you a picture of it, but there is one that I have that you can see. But there is one that is shaped like, let's see if
Let's
we
have a look.
don't, let's not get banned
Oh,
on YouTube. A male member to reproduce, but it's like a person. So the head and then like the base are like two pulled back legs.
oh
And
yeah.
then
Okay.
in
Okay.
between the two pulled back legs and the long shaft
Yeah.
are the female areas for reproduction.
Oh, interesting. So there's a bit of
Yes. Some
hermaphrodite sort of thing
cross-pollination
going
here.
on.
Yes. I think it's not this one, but they're thinking about it. I don't know if I did send it to you.
I can't
That
see it.
one. This
Is that the
this
one?
is not this no, but it's similar. If you look closely down towards the bottom, you will see that there are female reproductive organs.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah. How
And
interesting. How
yeah,
interesting.
and that's actually a burial urn. And
I mean, this is cool in itself. You know, this is much more advanced, I think, than a lot of people would assume comes out of the Amazon rainforest. I think until, well, maybe they don't. Maybe popular opinion has changed now, but up until a few years ago, I think popular opinion was that just the Amazon rainforest is a load of hunter-gatherers.
Yeah. Well, that's
and
it,
they're
right?
actually
Everything.
agriculture, you know, horticulture, all over the place.
Exactly. And they built
managing
water
the
management
forest, you know.
systems. Yeah, like fish ponds, dams to trap the fish and turtles. Like and this pottery is some of the very earliest polychrome that we have in the Americas.
It's actually amazing.
Yeah. It is
like
beautiful.
Wow.
Mm.
I did a tiny bit of pottery over lockdown in 2020, and I realised just how hard something like this would be to make. I could make a small little pot, and I was very happy with myself. But how the hell do you make that? Because they weren't using wheels to make this. They weren't use. It's like this is all done by hand, and then it's fired, right? So this is like.
I can't say if they had wheel thrown pottery. I don't know personally, but it is a lot of it obviously would be done finished by hand.
It's
they might have
impressive,
had like a
whatever it is.
foot-powered wheel. No matter what,
Yeah.
I took a pottery class once to try and get into when I was getting my portfolio ready to get into grad school for art conservation. And dear God,
it's hard.
Your whole body has to go into it. And
Absolutely. It's
I
like
made a wobbly pot like you.
Yeah. I tried to make a beaker pot from like Bronze Age Neolithic Europe, and he sort of gave it a good go. I mean, it wasn't a very good beaker pot, but you know, it's the sort of thing like you could. Yeah, I think a lot of the beaker people were sort of just lazy compared to this. Anyway, I mean, I look at this and I think this has got to be an expert. This is someone who knows what they're doing. This is a lifetime of doing this. Yeah. This is a piece of art for sure.
Yeah. And that's what they'd be buried in. There were they were living, first of all, in like these multifamily longhouses. So it's all made of wood. So we don't obviously have any like physical things anymore. So all I can show you is the beautiful pottery. But like they had big hearths to hold 3 pots. Like it was just this lovely communal thing, which obviously makes sense if it's metro local because we just are much nicer in that sense. It's like, hey, let's hang. Now, with the dead, they had charnel houses that they had this secondary burial. So you'd take your body and you would go and decompose somewhere else. And once you became bones, you'd get put in these fantastic burial pots. I want one of these, to be honest. They're so cool. And then they kind of like buried them vertically over time. So they kind of and they think that because of obviously the polychrome that's on it is so well preserved that this area was like covered and protected. There's also some suggestion that like a shaman or like a priestess type person would have painted the bones with like some red ochre before. Some of them, not all of them as well. It's just very cool. Some of these jars, just for reference for everyone, like a meter tall.
Yeah.
They're very big. Yeah.
Super big.
Mm-hmm. And like the faces and the female stuff on it could have been, like eyes looking out every direction for protection. Something about rebirth as well. Hence the female organs on there as well for like that sort of push off into the next life.
Fertility, maybe
fertility stuff. So like reincarnation. And it's just a very cool archaeological culture, as we call it.
Mm,
And
yes.
I highly recommend it. Just go deep dive. You'll see, I think there's one more photo very briefly. There's like the tongas. Yes, these are cool. These are like custom shaped ceramic thongs, pubic coverings for women.
Oh, right. Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
Mm-hmm. These are the most abundant ceramic objects that are found at Marajoara sites, and they're called tangas, or Tanga. And they're worn like there's a little belt. You can see there's some holes at the top. You kind of just wrap it around with a piece of cord, and they're made custom to fit the wearer. And you can see they're elaborately decorated, and people think that they may have been used for like ceremonies like marriage, puberty rituals, other special occasions like a rites of passage. And then there's like plainer ones potentially for daily wear. And I just think that's very cool.
It seems quite heavy to wear, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Maybe
I don't know how
it's
thin
fine.
it is, but I don't know how
people
effective...
were strong in the past anyway.
That's what they were. Yeah, they were walking around a lot more. Like I wouldn't want to sit with that. But
maybe it's ceremonial, ritual, just to
as always,
say as always. It's always shamans as well, but it actually is always shamans is the thing,
or it seems
to be anyway.
It
really is. All right, we can go to a couple of different places from there. I think I will go on just all the way to the other side of the world to another culture that made some pretty cool pots. So we'll go to Japan.
Yes.
We'll have a look at the Jomon culture. These are the fire pots. These are the flame pots of the Jomon culture. And look at that. It's crazy. How the flipping heck do you make one of them? How do you make one of them? These are the prehistoric inhabitants of Japan. So before rice farming arrived on Japan, people practiced kind of like horticulture in a sense. They had a very abundant environment filled with all sorts of foodstuffs and fish and animals that they could hunt. And they lived quite an affluent lifestyle, sort of affluent hunter-gatherers. They are still technically hunter-gatherers, but they live in sedentary villages. And they spend, it seems anyway, a lot of their time making art. And how cool is that? They just sort of sat around making these amazing pieces of art. These are the flame pots. Lots of ideas what they were used for. They may actually tell stories, some of them.
That's so cool.
They may actually have mythological scenes and individuals on them and things. And, and it's just like in Neolithic Europe, for example, like pots don't look like this. What is it? Why are they making them like this in Japan? I love it.
Why aren't they making like it anywhere else? Like,
yeah, absolutely. It might be something to do with the fact that they've just been doing it for so long. Because Japan, I think actually the oldest pottery in the world isn't in Japan now, but it used to be thought to be in Japan. The oldest pottery in Japan is super old. It's like 12,000 BCE or something like that. It's like ridiculous.
It was like the Jomon who did it, and now it's like in China, right?
Yeah, that's right. I think it's in China, but they are kind of a related culture in a sense, because if you go that far back, that whole area is kind of like similar related culture, like Siberia, northern China, Manchuria, and northern Japan. They're kind of linked a little bit at that point. They're sort of boat people, it seems, and they'll headed down the coast to Japan from those areas, possibly. Worth saying, I suppose, that modern Japanese people don't seem to really descend from the Jomon very much. There's a little bit of Jomon DNA, I think, but not a huge amount. Japanese modern people, it's thought anyway, they kind of come from the Chinese mainland in like 300 BCE, something like that, towards the end of the prehistoric period. So there's this vast, like 12,000 year period where the Jomon people live in these sedentary houses. They make pots like that. The most amazing thing that they make, actually, are these ceramic figurines. So these are the dogu, they're known as.
I love the dogu.
Yeah, they're just all these crazy different styles of doing it. This one on the left I like a lot. I like this guy a lot. And one of the interesting things, he's wearing a mask. Actually, I'm terribly sorry. That's not a he. It's a she. She is wearing a mask. Because if you actually zoom in, I've seen the real deal of this, and it's amazing. I couldn't find a picture of it though, but so I just put this one on. But it actually has female genitalia, so you can see the female genitalia and breasts, and she's wearing a mask. So like, I'm thinking, what's happening here? Some sort of ritual. Maybe she's a shaman, you know, in a trance sort of state. She's got that sort of like trance-like look on her face that you often see in the ancient world. Something is going on. Is she transforming into one of these weird things, or you know?
Ooh, so many theories.
This one, obviously female. I don't know if it's this one, but one of these guys was used by Eric von Daniken in Chariots of the Gods because he thought it was an alien.
Of course.
Or a space woman.
There were a lot of
There's the space helmet.
Dogu got a lot of the aliens.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. This is quite a good one.
That's the fun one I love, yes.
Me doing my Dogu stance. And I think this is the one that was in Chariot of the Gods because it sort of looks a bit like an alien. But it's just super cool. Again, female breasts, probably seems. Maybe they're male breasts, I don't know. But yeah. But it seems like, there's something to do with fertility maybe going on with these things. They're a little bit similar to the Venus figurines of ancient Europe. But also there's just a great variety of them. And as they get later on in time, they become more complex. So like this one's crazy. Super cool.
I love them. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, the Jomon, they weren't like agriculturists, but they were cultivators.
That's right.
And so, they sort of took advantage of what was growing around them and tweaked it to their liking, but they never became farmers, which I think is very cool.
Yeah, and that's why they're just so different to most other people on the planet. Because by the time rice farming arrives in Japan, the Jomon culture, they're some of the last like people doing that sort of lifestyle anywhere, really. I mean, and they've been doing it for so long that they're just really good at it. I always think like they probably just walk into the forest and they could just like, there's lunch, just pick off whatever they need, easy peasy, no problem.
Yeah. And that's probably why they lasted so long, to be honest.
Yeah. This is actually one of the stone circles in inverted commas because I spoke to a guy a couple of days ago, Adam Morgan Ibbotson, shout out to his channel. He told me that these are actually ring cairns. So if these were in Europe, they'd be called ring cairns.
Okay.
And he's an expert on these sorts of things, so I'll take his word on it. But they're known as stone circles in the literature, and it's a circle made out of stones, but they're very small stones. But yeah, the Jomon people, they made stone circles of a sort. They made these dogu, and they have an interesting thing because they've actually inspired modern Japanese culture to a certain extent, because this is the Legend of Zelda game series, and part of the artwork for these games is inspired by the Jomon culture.
That's so cool.
And not just that. Where's the other one that I've got? Oh, well, this is another image. That's another thing from the Legend of Zelda game. Very similar. Studio Ghibli. Do you know Studio Ghibli?
Everyone tries to get me to watch it. I think I've watched one or two.
It's Japanese Disney, basically.
Yeah.
It's Japanese version of Disney.
Howl's Moving Castle I've seen.
There we go.
Yeah.
And the artwork in Studio Ghibli, allegedly, so I've read, is inspired partly by the Jomon period as well. Japanese people really like the Jomon period. I think there's something to do with the nice, peaceful nature of it, because as soon as rice farming arrives on Japan, it's war until after the Second World War. So I think they like the peaceful period before.
Yeah. Well, if you look at Shinto religion, right? Like it's very peaceful and calm.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, Shinto religion. And Shinto survived because it merged with Buddhism when those after the rice farmers arrived. Buddhism arrives in sort of 500, 600 AD, something like that. And that merges with Shinto, sort of attaches itself to Shinto, and then both of them work syncretically with each other, and then they've survived to the present. So, yeah, and that's another interesting thing about Japan. Loads of these really ancient things are preserved in the religion, whereas for us, for example, in Europe, Christianity for the most part, got rid of all the old things. So there's like some pagan elements left, but not many. There's much more left in Japan. So a lot of the festivals and things, you could argue, could date back to Jomon times. This is another UNESCO World Heritage Site, Sanai Maruyama. I'm probably butchering that, but big longhouse, big sort of structure here with huge wooden trunks. Don't know what that's for. Nobody really knows what it's for. These are big storehouses, so these would have been filled with like food for the winter, I presume. And this is made by hunter-gatherers, and it's quite looks quite nice. There's a lot going on.
I like it.
Yeah,
I enjoy
I like it too. It's very pleasant. It's very pleasant. It's not.
Yeah.
No one's killing it. Well, they don't seem to be killing each other en masse anyway. They seem to be sort of just making art, getting on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there were so many sites just
having a party.
dotted throughout that. I know that there's some drama.
There's so
you know,
many.
everything is, oh, it's Jomon, but it's actually not. But everyone just kind of like blankets Jomon, but there still is everywhere.
There's so many. There's so many. I mean, really, you could probably argue there's many different cultures within the Jomon because it goes on for so long. It's like 10,000 years, and it's quite different at the beginning to what it is at the end. But
and there's different regional
this is quite late
variations.
on.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's certainly, there's a lot going on, and I heartily encourage everybody to go check it out because it is really interesting. And I think most people focus on the samurai, but I like the Jomon period. That's what I like.
I prefer the Jomon. I will say the British Museum Samurai exhibit is very good, but I don't know, let's do some Jomon.
Yeah, shout out to that. I'm yet to go visit. Actually, I need to go visit. I have a child now, so it's like I can't do much that isn't in the house really, or in the vague general area. But I will go to it eventually. There's another one as well. There's Hawaii as well, right?
Yeah, I haven't done
Is
that
good?
one yet. I'll do that one next. I got to use my perks while I've got
actually. That is possibly a nice transition to one of your cultures, right?
Yes. Let's do it. We're going down south from Japan.
And we're going to go far back from Hawaii, I suppose. It's like much earlier than that, but it's the same people, is it? Who would eventually... Potentially.
Yeah. Yes. Let's do it. We're going to go to the Lapita. The Lapita, I would say, is like the most quintessential archaeological culture of archaeological cultures.
Okay, nice. As in, it's just archaeology and there's no history.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Pretty much. Excuse me. So, Lapita, they are, I feel like for me, they are the most adventurous of the ancient cultures and just tenacious and explorative, in my opinion, because they're like the first settlers on the islands of the Western Pacific, as you can see in the map. They have gone everywhere. Some of the islands were like hundreds of miles away from the other one, and they're going off in wooden rafts and boats, and they're just going. And you don't see, I would not do it. That's just too brave for me. Like, you don't know where you're heading. And turns out they were able to even like sometimes go back and forth between them and like maintain contact. It's just terrifying. It always reminds me of, the big immigration movement from Europe to America. And just people like just so afraid of the unknown, but being really brave and just going off for that and leaving everything they've ever known behind. And the Lapita were like that. So they essentially, Lapita is a term given to encompass a group of people they created this like very culturally distinctive collection of artifacts, and they loved living on the coast. They all kind of lived on the coasts of the islands. They had shared cultural values, possibly a common language that we all think that but there's a theory that they're the ones that sort of brought that language down over through, all of the Samoan islands and then over to Hawaii. This is around 1600 BCE. And it was like, I think it's the most widespread cultural horizon, as we call it, an archaeological horizon in Oceania. So
it's so long ago as well. That is insane.
Yeah.
It
was just crazy.
It's before New Kingdom Egypt. It's like New Kingdom Egypt is just appearing, and these guys are doing this. It's just like, it's a different planet. I love it. It's like its own contained world, isn't it?
they've touched like lands previously untouched by humans. They, had the initial diversification of many oceanic cultures, and they just they go to one island, they build a few houses on stilts, and then they just go, all right, well, we kind of have things under control here. You guys go on a boat to the next one
Yeah.
and the
Next.
next one.
It's got to be
All the
part
way
of
to
their culture,
Samoa.
right? Like, is it
Yeah.
like a rite of passage or something for the youth that they just get sent out and then, it's
Oh, God.
makes you think,
Can you
doesn't it?
imagine?
Yeah,
You're
just like you're
16.
12.
Out.
I
Get
was
out.
thinking 12. Yeah, go for it.
There's no room for you on the island. You got to go. You get voted
Yeah.
off or something.
Because these, I suppose,
Yeah.
they're not practicing agriculture, or are they?
Not that I'm aware of.
Hmm.
They just I'm sure they had animal husbandry. I do know that.
Right.
Because they'd be bringing these animals to the islands with them,
Okay.
and
Okay. Okay.
they do think they would be like interacting with some of the other like tribes and things that were already on the island, but because they sort of stuck to the outside, there wasn't too much integration. They kind of just were like, we're just gonna hang out on the coasts here,
Yeah.
and they just there is some like colonization, but not everywhere. And there's like some myths that like even like are they exist today about like these oceanic cultures through like oral history. They were called like land people being invaded by sea folk, and so they think, oh, these are the Lapita like coming in and just like almost like the sea peoples, just kind of coming in but not destroying everything and
Interesting.
doing that. Yeah.
So on the Pacific Islands, these legends survive, do they?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. How interesting. I'd love to think that a myth can survive for that long. Like it's
Isn't that crazy?
such a long time. But some of the
Mm.
oldest stories we have are even older, aren't they?
Yeah,
Whew.
that's very true. Yeah, so that's the Lapita. They did make some stuff out of shells, like jewelry from cowrie shells. We have some evidence of that. I think I sent you a picture of some pots, some pottery.
Yeah.
Very basic,
Oh
yes. But
wow. Well, this is
it,
nice.
yes. So there's some really nice, like basic images, sorry, but like really nice pottery.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
And there is some evidence of like certain pottery being brought from other islands. And like, so they'd be like taking bits with them. And there was like trade and like contact with it to like help the new colonies. So they would be brought resources. And they had, I think that's the same one, just black and white. Yeah. I sent you a bunch. I just like something.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
No. No.
just
This is
that
great.
one. Yeah. They used like the little white, they like
Look at that.
decorated it with the lime.
It's amazing
And
what you
it
can
was
do
this,
with pottery, isn't it?
yeah. And there's even like on just the water. And yeah, it was essentially like they'd be like, okay, we found this island. We're going to send these people off. We'll send you some stuff until you're all sorted, and then see you later. And then they just go off to the next one. And then it's sort of just domino effects after that.
Is this representing a house or a building? That would be cool, wouldn't it? I
It's
look at this and I'm
not
like,
from my not from my perspective. They have like they lived in ones with on stilts and things, so I don't know if that would.
yeah, that doesn't really check out. But yeah,
No.
I love it though. I love thinking about what has been lost and what people would have built out of wood. The crazy one is Attila the Hun's palace. Have you ever heard about this? There's an idea that Attila the Hun's palace would have been just this ludicrous thing, entirely made out of wood, so it's just gone. No one knows really what it was
So
like.
sad. Well, it's all the
Yeah.
the Egyptian palaces were made out of mud brick. They don't
Yeah.
survive anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You've probably been to Memphis, right? The ancient city in
I
Egypt.
haven't.
Yeah.
I'm
Oh, have you
going
not?
though in 2
Oh, you're
weeks.
going?
I'll
Oh,
be there.
nice.
Yeah.
Don't get your hopes up.
Okay.
Because most of it doesn't exist anymore because it was made out of mud brick. So it's mostly gone. I mean, it's a really cool place going to where it used to be. But, you can't really see any of the structures because they were all made out of mud. And it's just so
Crazy.
long ago. I suppose the other one is the Moche pyramids, which weren't even
Yes.
that long ago, but they've mostly, well, they're going anyway. And then, add a bunch of more thousands of years on, then you have Old Kingdom Egypt. Yeah.
Well, yeah, even all the pyramids that were built out of mud brick in like the Middle Kingdom
Yes. Yes.
just deplorable. Just I was like, guys, you saw how to
Yeah.
do it, and then you decided to use a mud brick. What are you?
Yeah, I know.
Stupid.
Why? Yeah, why? Just for our selfish reasons, we want to see them. Yeah.
Yep.
Just to backtrack a tiny bit to the Amazon as well. I mean, this is the sad thing that I wish there was some good stone in the Amazon, because then they would have built out of stone. It's just purely because of geographical reasons they didn't build out of stone, because there wasn't much available. Would that be fair to say? I mean, that's what I always,
you kind of like people were using what was available to them, and unfortunately, sometimes that doesn't bode so well for archaeological preservation. Like, for example, with a lot of stuff in North America, right? It was all kind of constructed out of wood and
made out of wood
and mounds
and earth. Yeah. And it's nice that in the Maya period they had that nice, in the Maya area, I should say, they had that nice limestone, and they just really went to town on it. And I'm glad that they did, because it survives and we can see it. Anything else to say about the Lapita, or shall I move to another boat people?
Let's leave it at that so people can stay intrigued.
Yeah, people can go and look at it further. We're getting a hoof on, we're getting a move on. We'll go to another boat people in the Cycladic Islands. Then it's not as impressive as the Lapita, really, in some ways, because it's not anywhere near the same distances being traversed. But they are still
a bunch of little islands.
Just a bunch of little islands, and it's quite nice as well, quite pleasant.
Yeah.
Have you ever dug in the Cycladic Islands?
I've not. I've dug the Thessaly area of Greece.
Yes.
So not. I've never actually been to a Greek island. So.
Well, I highly recommend it. They are lovely places to visit, just purely from a travel point of view. The food's great, the people are great, beautiful. So 3rd millennium BCE, same time period really as Dilmun and Magan, up on the far edge of the world for Mesopotamians. Things are going on in the Cycladic Islands, and there's a lot of things going on here. People are traversing from island to island. They're trading with each other over quite large distances. They're making lovely artwork, and they're building quite large urban settlements. And of course, people probably mostly know of this culture from the Cycladic figurines. So this is a nice one. These nice Cycladic figurines. And I absolutely love these. Did you know that when they were first uncovered, I suppose, or that when they first appeared in Europe, let's say in the 1800s, a lot of people just dismissed them as barbaric rubbish, because they were only interested in the classical world. But I think they're great. I think they're really cool, and they're quite stylized as well. Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
So there's a standardization that takes place in the middle of the 3rd millennium BC, which suggests that it's a very widespread thing. And it's like, for some reason, they're always making them look like this, the folded arm figurine. They're all over the place. Yeah, and it's just, they just keep making this same style. Some of them have little interesting flourishes on them, like this one is a seated harpist. This one is a flutist. All women again, a little bit similar to the Jomon. Some of them seem to be pregnant, possibly, or they may have. They've got like a raised bump anyway. Whatever, might be pregnant, might be something else. But I suppose what many people don't know is the rest of the culture. So, like, they lived in pretty impressive settlements, really. And the weird thing about this is Skarkos on the island of Ios, and this is one of the largest that has been uncovered thus far. It's quite nice because nothing was built on top of it, which is always good.
Yeah.
This is a little layout of the place. It's super interesting. There's these streetways with loads and loads
like a modern city.
Well, this is the weird thing about it, because it's actually been discovered that this place didn't just have 2-story structures, but it had 3-story structures. So they're building in 3 stories, 3 levels, and it probably would have looked a little bit like the houses still look like today. So this is a modern one. And it probably looked a little bit like that because there's this need to protect yourself from the wind. It's very, very windy, extremely windy on the Cycladic Islands, and a need to protect yourself from the sun as well. So if you have these narrow corridors, which you still have today, narrow streetways, you're sheltered from everything. And there's an idea that they've just been doing it forever. Just people living there have always built this way. And, you know, if it ain't broke, why would you do it a different way?
Right. As we said before, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Exactly.
Does
This is the
job.
coolest place, though. This is the weirdest place of all. This is an interpretation of Daskalio, which is, I don't know if you know the island of Keros. It's kind of like it seems like it's a sanctuary in the middle of the Cycladic Islands. It was excavated by Colin Renfrew in the 60s, and then it's been excavated ever since, pretty much. And there's an idea that it's like a very early ceremonial centre where people probably came from all the different islands, and they would come here and they would do rituals, as we like to say, and they would deposit objects there. They would take these Cycladic idols and they would break bits off them, and they would leave a broken one there, and they would take part of it away with them for some reason. Whatever, you know. Are they praying for something during a ceremony, during a festival or something like this? And yeah, it's such a weird, interesting place because this is what it looks like today. And it's just this little sort of stump. And it's thought in the past that it was connected to this island, Keros, by a little sort of causeway. But it almost looks like a pyramidal shape. So coming towards it on the sea, you'd be able to see it from quite far away because it would have been glistening with this sort of marble that it's made out of. Another interesting thing is that the marble that it was made from was all imported. So it was all taken into this island from, it seems to be the island of Naxos, which is kind of adjacent to it. They imported all the marble to make these structures. And it's thought, I think the latest research suggests that people didn't live there permanently, probably. It probably had a sort of a group of people who did live there all year round, but probably they were just maintaining the place. And then it's thought that it would be maybe a yearly festival or a bi-yearly festival or something like this, and people would come in from afar and they would do something there. Maybe a similar sort of thing to like a Mecca or a Stonehenge or a Newark earthworks, one of these central places for religious purposes.
Wow. I barely know anything about the Cycladic, so this is very cool to me.
And I just love it because it's weird. It's just this weird thing in the sea where they just decided this little bit of rock looks cool. Let's go to town on it. And they did, and they just covered it in archaeology. They covered it in structures, but now it's archaeology. And I think it was only discovered about 20 years ago or something, because Keros next to it is where much of the work has been done. And then they discovered that this Daskalio is just covered in archaeology. So they've been working on that ever since.
Crazy.
Yeah. Oh, here's another one. Here we go. Here's another good one.
Wow.
So that's just an idea of what it may have looked like. It looks like something from a different world, doesn't it? It's like proper fantasy. Yeah. It's like a fantasy novel thing, isn't it? It could be in Game of Thrones or something.
It really could. Yeah, I can see that.
Yep. So that's Daskalio off the island of Keros. And also the weird thing is the island of Keros itself. Annoyingly, I didn't put a picture of it, but it sort of looks like a lying down Cycladic figurine. The whole island does. Huh. So if you look at it from the island of Naxos, it looks like it's a lying down one of these guys. So I don't know what that's about. Yeah.
Very
suppose
cool.
Briefly, we'll just look. They were all painted, of course, as everything in the ancient world was colourful. The Cycladic idols were painted. There's little surviving bits of red all over this one. And lastly, here's a depiction of one of the boats that they would have used. So this is on one of the Cycladic frying pans, as they're known, which is a nice archaeological name. They look like frying pans, and they're covered in these artistic depictions. And this is what we think is a Cycladic longboat. So that's pretty cool, isn't it? They didn't have sails, probably. But yeah, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It's like 30-something oars people who would have rowed this thing.
Wow, that's a lot.
It's a lot. Oh, and then lastly, I'll just show this one. I mean, some of these things are big. So like that is not used for the same...
Huge.
That's not used for the same purposes as the small ones, because this is not portable. A lot of them are small portable things.
Yeah. They kind of remind me of the Ein Chazal statues?
Yes.
Mm.
Yes.
That's
it's kind of... Yeah. See, it seems to be similar. But it must have a different... Maybe it's representing the same mythological figure or something. I don't know. But it's...
Who knows?
This
It's thousands of years apart, so...
Yeah. No. I mean, sorry, this particular one and the smaller ones, maybe they're representing the same figure in this culture, possibly.
Yeah.
But who knows? I mean, again, this is one with no history. No history at all survives. Very sadly. Because this is 1,000 years even before the Minoans, really. The proper Minoans, anyway. And that's that. That's the Cycladic culture. Where are we going next?
All right. Well, seeing as you mentioned breaking off of some statues and bringing them elsewhere, let's go to the Knock.
Brilliant. Yeah, the more you look at different disparate peoples around the world, the more you realise the similarities.
Yeah.
These same things pop up again and again. That breaking off a bit of a statue, it means something, doesn't it?
There's always like some sort of meaning as well, breaking... So breaking something, right? Like look at ancient Egypt and like desecrating monuments and tearing, even nowadays, tearing things down. It's very symbolic.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we have the Knock. I love the Knock. There's not much to know about the Knock, but it's very cool. We are in Nigeria. And this was an archaeological culture discovered in the 1940s in British colonial tin mines.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. People were just digging, and then these figurines, like a terracotta head sort of just came out. And so the archaeologists came, of course, and they were like, whoa. And this is something we've never seen before. And on some other sites, they found beaded necklaces, pottery, stone tools. There's even the fabrication of iron, which is something that's
advanced.
It really, and it kind of like shifts the timeline for iron, and people don't know where it came from them, and like where they got it from, if it was something that they just figured out on their own. Because there's no bronze, there's no like
they just went straight to the iron.
Yeah.
Wow, because you need an insanely hot furnace to make iron, right? Hotter furnace than bronze. That's cool.
It's so cool, and the pottery is amazing. It's one of the earliest known societies of sub-Saharan Africa. It's attributed with creating the earliest sculptural tradition in Africa as well, outside of Egypt.
Yeah.
And of course, as we said, earliest to smelt iron in the area. So the terracotta figurines, you can see they've got these, they're very distinctive. Like when you see a Knock figurine, you're like, that's Knock.
I think I've seen these, I think I've seen these before in museums.
Cool.
They're really cool.
I don't think I have yet. It's on my list.
Very...
yeah.
I don't know where. I think it was somewhere in the US, maybe. I think there was like an exhibition on in the US somewhere. I don't know.
It's very cool.
Maybe Boston.
That would make sense. The MFA.
Yeah, it might have been that.
Yeah. But you can see they've got these very distinctive, like large heads, the big almond eyes, the intricate hairstyles as well. And they also have sometimes like the clothing. And so it kind of gives us an idea of maybe this is what the Knock culture would have worn. Like the different men versus women, what they were wearing, all the different pleats, the knots in their textiles. Even some of them had body modification, like scarification, that we think is scarification. Yeah. So we can get an idea of their jewelry and their tooling as well. Some of them carry tools for daily farming life. Some of them, there was one that like, I couldn't find a photo to send you, but they were in a boat. So we can see that they
nice.
They might have, and they're, not where they are. It's very like land centric. So you're like, oh, did they go
yeah.
somewhere? One of them has a shell, a little seashell on the top of its head, and it's such an intricate seashell that we can tell where it's from.
Wow.
And it's from like somewhere super far away. Can't
Oh,
remember
wow.
where, but it is, yeah. It's like from like as far as the West African coast.
Yeah.
And so it's like from the Atlantic Ocean, about 700 kilometers away, essentially, from where this figurine was found.
Flipping out. Nigeria is such a stupidly large country.
It's so big.
It's absolutely
And
massive.
I didn't
And
realize it. Yeah.
even today, it's filled with many different languages and many different cultures. And this is only a small area of Nigeria. It's making me think what was going on outside of this area at the time. What time
Especially
is
if
this?
they've got, this is, it's, I would say, I'm trying to remember now. Had it in my head and now it's gone. It's definitely
It's not
BC.
medieval, is it? Yeah,
No,
I was going to say, yeah.
It's BC.
Wow.
I'm sorry, I'm going to have to Google it because I've lost the dates.
No, that's fine.
1500 BCE.
Oh, this is really early.
Yeah. That's the earliest
crazy.
It goes. And it lasts a while to like even into Common Era.
That's
which is
crazy. That's so early.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it is just what I find, it's such a mystery because they've done some microscopic analysis on the figurines of the clay. And the clay used for all of them came from the same place.
Oh, wow.
So the theory is there's either a settlement devoted to like the crafting of all these sculptures, so they're specialists.
Yeah.
And then they would be distributed. Or, again, potters would know that there was like a cultural standard and where to find the right clay for the job, and they would go off and find it. But according, as you were mentioning with the breaking, most of them, so they have found that in many places there were broken ones, and then sometimes they would find the other bits at a different site.
Aha.
And so one theory has been put forward of like ancestors. So, and like burying the dead, because they were kind of found in these like pits, these like garbage rubble pits with fire and burnt debris. So, certain settlements would move. And so after a while, they would come back, do a ceremony. Like they were thinking maybe the ceramic figurines were sort of placed as like tomb markers. And over time, they might have been broken, or they would kind of bring bits of the ancestors with them to the other site. So they would do some sort of ceremony, maybe with a drum, maybe with some fire. And then they would take bits to the new settlement and bring that ancestral meaning and connection over to their new settlement.
Love it. Do you know what? Maybe that was a similar thing to what was going on with the Cycladic Islands,
Yeah.
Maybe a similar thing going on, because I know that there's always evidence of musical instruments, isn't there? And there's always evidence of feasting, or at least some sort of like fire and eating of things. So yeah, we're all very similar.
Yeah, right. At the end of the day, we're all human.
Yeah, you go back far enough, we're all the same. Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy, and we don't know like why they've moved from place to place, but they've spread out around a very large region. They had this complex society, specialized craftsmanship, metal production. Like they're doing their own thing, but there's no permanent structures and no centralized workshop for the production of this pottery. So it's all a big mystery. Like it just sort of defies all of the standardized things that we think of when we think of a complex society, quote unquote, with these sorts of practices and established technology.
Amazing. Are they pastoralists?
They had like farm and homestead communities.
Yeah.
So yeah, something similar. Like
similar,
they have
sort of.
There's like
just thinking maybe they were following
things.
their herds or something.
Yeah, there's no communal architecture or buildings, so it's like, and there's also no storing like structures for storing surplus food from farming. So who knows?
Yeah. Wow. Because this is
they were sedentary. I would say they were sedentary farmers, though. We just don't know if they had surplus.
Are they anything to do with the Bantu expansion? That's one thing that I know about.
I feel like the Bantu is later, isn't it?
Is that later? Yeah. So these are possibly, wow. Super cool. Right. How many more have we got to get through? We've got to get through.
I've got one more.
Well, actually, we're doing quite well, sort of. We've got half an hour left. Okay. That's good, because then if we finish, we can discuss, we can do questions as well. I will All right, we'll go to China. Let's go to China.
Let's do it.
Let's do this, because this is another one where I had no idea about this place, and then I read, I think, an article about it in one of the archaeology magazines in like 2020 or something, and then I was like, right, I've got to go here. And I did go here, and it actually blew my mind, because it's difficult to wrap your head around this. This is Liangzhu ancient city in the Yangtze River Valley in China. So it's near the mouth of it's near the delta, of the the mouth of the Yangtze River. Chinese civilization in inverted commas is usually thought to have started on the Yellow River, so very far north. Stupidly, I haven't put a map on, but China basically has two massive rivers. One is the Yellow River, the one to the south of it is the Yangtze River, and most Chinese people would consider the Yellow River to be where their culture began, kind of thing. It's where the first dynasties of the Chinese, Chinese empires and things that we know, they originate in the Yellow River. But then randomly, this just appears in the Yangtze River, and it is an absolutely ludicrously massive site. It's hundreds and hundreds of hectares. The middle of it looked like this. And this is, again, I'm obsessed with the 3rd millennium BCE. This is the 3rd millennium BC. So super early. And nobody had any idea it existed. This just comes out of nowhere. I think it was discovered early 20th century during all sorts of bad times for China. China's been invaded by Japan, and they've had they're in their century of humiliation. So things are going bad. So it's not really given much sort of investigations until later, because if you're living in a horrible war zone, there's not much you can do in terms of archaeology. You've got more important things to worry about. Yeah. But they finally investigated it properly now, and it's an entire culture. It's the Liangzhu culture. It expands over a big, wide area. This is kind of like, seems like it's a capital city of sorts. It's a main city. This is a terrible image. But actually,
I love a good pixel.
Kind of incomprehensible, but it's big. It was so big that it couldn't even really be comprehended by the people who lived there, because it's these large mounds, and then it's sort of walled, but it seems like it might actually be to do with flood defences rather than being proper wall. Here you go. Here's a nice image. Cool. This is on top of the big central sort of, it's like a pyramid. It's like a pyramid mound type thing. But yeah, massive place, they think it's home to tens of thousands of people, which is bonkers. And it's in the Neolithic, so this like puts everything in Neolithic Europe to shame at the same time. Neolithic Britain, for example, we don't have anything that's anywhere near anything like this, and it's thought that it was probably some sort of top-down society with rule, like dynastic rulers, possibly. There's evidence of human sacrifice and things, and all the images, well, some of the images in the local museum, they make it look a little bit like the Aztecs and things like that, which I think is quite an interesting comparison. And it does seem to be a little bit like that, because they've got sort of like pyramid mounds, human sacrifice, large-scale urbanism, and they have all these sort of like ceremonial things. This is called a Kong here, and it's like a sort of symbol of office is what it seems to be. It's all made out of jade. That's the difference between this place and Europe. They use jade. So it's like they have access to this really sort of malleable material that they can make crazy things out of earlier than they do in Europe. And they use jade for all sorts of things that people would later use metal for, like elite items and things. So yeah, you get loads of these Kongs all over the place. These just absolutely fill the museums. They're all over the place in China. You get elite burials as well. This is one of the burial sites on there. You can see there's, I think that's a representation of what it looked like when they dug it up. You've got all the jade items. So they fill their graves with jade. Jade is like the thing that these people, it's like their gold or silver, they were really into jade. Yeah, it's crazy. This is a cool image. This is one of the. This is part of one of the possibly defensive walls, but seems like it's more likely to be some sort of flood defense. But it's large scale engineering of the environment. Yeah, and it's another UNESCO World Heritage Site. I seem to just be picking UNESCO World Heritage Sites. There's another image of it, another terrible image of that. Yeah, they think that they basically tamped down all the ground around this central sort of area to make it flat. So they flattened all the area. So it would have really stood out. And is that all I've got to say about that? Might be all I've got to say about that. I know David Miano, if he's still in the chat, he's been to this place as well. And
Cool.
He was also amazed by it. Yeah. Look at that. It's mad.
So cool.
So old as well.
Very
so
beautiful.
So old.
Yeah.
And again, there's just so much we don't know. So much we don't know about this culture. And it's just one of these ones where it just appeared. No one had any idea it existed. It doesn't really fit in with the traditional Chinese histories, because it's supposed to be the Jia are the first and they're up in the Yellow River. And it's like, what's this? This
Surprise!
This isn't supposed to exist. What's going on here? Did I have anything else? I can't remember if this is actually it, but there's one that's called the King of Kong, and it's the it's the biggest Kong of all.
The King Kong.
The King of Kong. Here we go. This is an absolute beast of an item there.
That's crazy. Yeah. And it's all jade. So expensive.
All jade. And yeah, I've not done any deep research on this yet. I just wanted to go there. And to be honest, I do a weird thing. I don't know if you do this at all, but I like to visit somewhere having not done a huge amount of research. And then I just kind of go in, and I like to be impressed by the place and just kind of like get an impression of it before I do the deep research. Then I come home and do the deep research.
Yeah. Thank you. Kind of like enjoy it and then look at it later.
Yeah, that's good. That's kind of, yeah. I like to just go and just have my mind blown and be like, what the heck is going on here? Yeah.
Nice.
Cool stuff. How long have we got left? We've got 20 minutes. Let's do the Etruscans.
All right, let's go to the Etruscans. We're going to Italy, because there wouldn't be the Romans without the Etruscans.
Absolutely.
I love this map. So you can see Etruria around 750 BC. They were like the rulers of Italy before the Romans. They are probably indigenous to the area as well. For a long time, people thought they were like coming from different areas, but their way that their language developed as well, they think, no, this is definitely like the place.
Wasn't one of the ancient Greek writers convinced that they came from one of the Greek islands, and it turns out it's just a load of nonsense.
Seems to and be like anyway. The Near East at one point too, and there's some DNA stuff, but there's.
Well, this is like the Scottish people are supposedly Scythians in all the medieval accounts.
Yeah. So Etruscans, very briefly, 900 BCE they were like, that's kind of where they start. But then they were really powerful up until about 400 BCE. And then, the Romans start showing up. Gross.
They're a bit boring, the Romans, aren't they? Everything's the same.
They are.
Everything's the same.
Yeah, well, that's the point of the Romans, isn't it?
Yeah.
But the Etruscans actually called themselves Rasenna. So they didn't say they were the Etruscans. They were the Rasenna people. They were known all across Europe. They had a huge cultural impact all up in there, even up into like parts of like Central Europe as well, like into mainland. And I really like them. They gave like the toga to Rome. They had these really great funerary games, and that sort of like brought the gladiatorial games to Rome. They were just so influential, and the Romans didn't like them. They just thought they were like heathens and degenerates. It's really sad.
And Rome's just right on their doorstep as well. Like, look at that map.
Yeah.
It's just all this Etruscan stuff, then Rome's right there. Just
no one wanted to
disproving.
deal with Rome at the point. Yeah, like Rome, I think, was like a really sad little settlement, dinky, terrible
Yeah.
land.
Yeah.
No one wanted to be near it, and then
bitter Romans.
They really were.
Yeah.
They had these. They loved you know what I love about the Etruscans? They loved a good wine. They loved a good party, good banquet. I think I have a photo of a tomb painting for you.
Oh yes.
Yes, there we go.
Look at this.
Look at that. Oh, so small.
Actually,
there we go.
We get the idea. We get the idea.
Yeah. They loved a good banquet, and the best thing about it, women had more rights with the Etruscans. They could drink the wine. They could attend the banquet. But then, obviously, the Romans used that as like a scapegoat for how good Roman women were. Like, oh, so pure, demure. They stayed at home. And they weren't partying. And there's that whole story about how the Etruscans fell with the Etruscan kings, right? With I forget the name, but there was like a Roman woman who was at home doing her wifely duty, and the Etruscans were out drinking, and then they found her and they did some not so nice things to her, and then started a war essentially, and that's how the Romans took over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Convenient story. Convenient story.
Right? Like, the terrible Etruscans. No. They just had a good time, and they had like such a fun culture. The women could also attend the games, which is not something they could have done back in the day. We don't really have a lot of like domestic architecture. A lot of it was built over by the Romans because, again, they were bitter. But we do have, if you look at that, I think there's another photo I sent you of like a burial, like a little house. The urn.
Oh, this is cool.
This is a burial urn from the Villanovan culture. And so they were like just before the Etruscans, but you can kind of see like this is potentially what a building of the Etruscans would have looked like, a house, for example. I think it's very cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you know, I always see the Etruscans for some reason as being a bit Greek. I mean, is that... Yeah. They're a little bit, I don't know.
They loved a symposium. They liked their wine. They did have like city blocks. We do know that. They did have some like tiled roofs at some point when like it kind of different periods. They had columns. They had open courtyards. So like there's similarities. Did I?
Do we have Etruscan cities?
Yeah. So if you look at the map, there's like places like Poggio Civitate. There's Marzabotto, which is actually an Etruscan colony in the province of Emilia-Romagna in Italy, a little bit further away. So yeah, let me see what's the best. Yeah, Veii was like the most popular one that I know of, for example.
Have they been? Do they have Roman buildings on top of them and things?
A lot of the Romans built over top. Yeah, they were like no, and so we have.
Are there any? Do you know? Are there any pure Etruscan cities that are left that you can excavate, or is it mostly been?
To be honest, I'm not sure. I would love to excavate.
That'd be nice,
one.
Wouldn't it?
Yeah, right. They also have like I don't think I was going to send to you. I didn't have a chance. They have like an alphabet.
Oh, I was going to say, I've heard of the Etruscan writing system.
Yeah. We have so many inscriptions that are bilingual. They're Etruscan Latin texts. There's even a linen book preserved on mummy wrappings from Egypt with Etruscan language, but we can't understand it. They did not share any like inherited grammatical structures. They didn't do any they don't have any Indo-European relation. And the only sort of ones we can sort of see are like old Swiss and Austrian, like Raetic dialects, and no one can read it. It's really depressing. They used an alphabet derived from a mix of ancient Greek, so maybe that's where you're seeing it, and like Phoenician scripts. This then actually became the foundation for the Latin script, but we still can't discern anything from it. It's very weird. And it bothers me.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, there's no Indo-European. That's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
So they're sort of like the Basque, maybe. They're just like a holdout that didn't become Indo-European. I don't know.
They were just sort of themselves, and I like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And then finally, just because we have to talk about the haruspecs, because that's just one of the coolest things.
Is that this?
Yes, it is. So they this is like a very Roman thing as well, that like, again, the Romans love to hate on the Etruscans, but they took so much of their culture. So according to like Etruscan tradition, one day a peasant was like plowing a field and this god appeared and he had like this old man, and it's like there was all these like prophetic things that came out of it, where it was a child but had the face of an old man, and the child taught them the secrets of haruspicy, or I just call it haruspicy because it's fun, but that's not
Haruspicy.
Haruspicy. That's how you spell it. That's when I was writing the book. I'm like, haruspicy.
Nice.
But it's an important form of divination using the entrails of animals. And it's also possibly about like nature of the underworld as well. Like it kind of helps you do that. Sorry, the man taught you that. And then so they were very renowned for this, the Etruscans. They had a lot of religious devotion. They had really big skills in haruspicy. In fact, it was an Etruscan priest named Spirina who told Julius Caesar to beware the Ides of March.
Oh, wow.
So this is the Piacenza liver. It's a bronze model of a sheep's liver and has all these bumps. It's divided into 40 sections and inscribed with the names of 28 deities. And they represent the heavens, and each section sort of corresponded to the celestial homes of various gods. So what you would do is you would kill a sheep, and then you would look at the sheep's liver and you would compare it, and like all the abnormalities and anomalies on the liver would then tell you things according to this map.
Do you know what? I think that is this not live anymore? For some reason, this has stopped being live.
Oh, no. Yeah. Uh-oh.
Oh, man, this is Riverside's let us down.
Disappointing.
It says we're live.
Yeah. 65% uploading. Oh.
It says we're live. Are we live? Can anyone still hear us?
Someone told me that someone just texted me and said that it's actually stopped, and I was like, well, it says live on me.
God damn it! That's so annoying. That's really bad.
Well, we got to 9. Who knows when we got off?
Why has it done this? It's done an hour and 8 minutes.
Ah.
And then it just stopped.
Disappointing.
Oh, I'm really annoyed. Why is it? It's literally telling me that it's live still.
Weird.
Well, Raven, this has never happened before. This is, Wait, if I just... I don't know what to do now. I guess we just have to abandon it, because it's like we only... Yeah, well, that sucks.
We're just talking to ourselves at this point.
I don't know. Well, okay, well, we just... Yeah.
Oh, well, that's
that
okay.
sucks. Yeah. That was great. That was going really well. I was really enjoying that.
It was fun. Well...
What the hell's going on, Riverside? What are you doing? We were having a fantastic conversation. Riverside just stopped it, deleted the video, and that's that. Making me look like a mug, really. So no explanation as to why Riverside did that. But yeah, really annoying. We've had to cut off Raven halfway through her talking about the Etruscans. And we missed off the 10th civilization. But here I am, and I'll go with it now. The show must go on. This is a few hours later. This stream actually happened last night. So, just going to have to make do. Technology, guys. What is it doing? But here we go. We're going to have a look at the so-called intermediate area between South America and North America. It's a terrible name. It's a name that archaeologists came up with in the 70s and 80s, and it, to say the least, does not do this area justice. This is actually one of the most incredible areas in the Americas, and discoveries are being made here all the time. It's just south of the Maya region. So the Maya basically went into the edge of Honduras with the great city of Copan. So past Copan, you have the rest of Honduras, Nicaragua, Costa Rica, Panama. And in all these countries, there's absolutely phenomenal ancient ruins, ancient artifacts, ancient cultures and civilizations. And it's an area that's covered in forest today, absolutely covered in rainforest. So it's quite hard to find these places, you know. And back in the 1500s and 1600s, a lot of these places were just sort of abandoned due to disease and all that, and from the Europeans, and then they were just lost. So the Europeans had no idea that they'd ever existed in the first place. So in museums all across the United States of America and many other places, you can find artifacts from this incredible civilization. You know, we've got flipping heck, I'm having a nightmare today. What is happening with technology? Technology is breaking. We're just going to keep going. Right, so this is some of the gold work from this part of the Americas. And this is just north of the region of the Tirona and the Muisca of the top part of South America in Colombia today. And those areas are where conquistadors went in the 1500s looking for El Dorado, this land of gold, this mythic city that was just over the horizon, ever out of reach. And they went searching for it. And some of the gold work in that area is absolutely exquisite. And it's the same in Central America. So just north of the Tirona and the Muisca, who also have incredible ancient cities, ancient civilizations, you know. There's these guys. Let's have a look. Here we go. This is a nice picture that I took in, I believe it was the Museum of Fine Art in Boston, which is a great museum. Absolutely great museum. Look at these guys. And they're small little pieces as well, so the gold work is quite exquisite. There we go. There's one. Here we go. You get an idea of the sort of mythologies of these people as well. And the gold, you know, it tends to be associated with chiefdoms, really, like the people who are in charge, and also religious authority. And yeah, it's an increasing realization recently that these are chiefdoms. You know, they're top-down societies, hierarchical. There's people who are calling the shots, much like the rest of the Americas. These are quite complex societies. Yeah, and there's all sorts of these incredible cultures that exist there. This is the center of Guayabo in Costa Rica. See, this is the stone-built mounds and ceremonial processional ways. Very cool. Very cool. I was lucky enough to visit Costa Rica a few years ago on my honeymoon, actually, and we had an incredible time. And yeah, had a look at the ancient history of the place. These giant stone balls are in Costa Rica too. One of these is in one of the museums in Paris, which I've gone to see, and the rest of them are all in the Costa Rica National Archaeology Museum in the capital of Costa Rica. Well worth checking out. Well worth checking these giant balls out. Costa Rica has balls, everyone. Costa Rica has balls. Giant balls at that. Giant stone balls. What were they used for? Nobody really knows. Most of them have been moved from their original locations, so they're not where they were intended to be. So a lot of the context is unfortunately lost. This is that Guayabo place again from the sky. Pretty fascinating. There's a lot going on. Considering this is a place that was, you know, used to be thought there was nothing there really. There's an astonishing amount. Look at these guys. Absolutely love this stuff. The authority, well, one of the authorities on this is John Hoops, actually, who's written some great books and articles and all that on this. And I'm speaking to him soon, actually, so look out for that podcast episode when it comes out eventually. And yeah, we'll be discussing all these fascinating artifacts from this region, which
doesn't get anywhere near as much attention as it should. So yeah, here we are. So it's like the eastern part of Honduras, Nicaragua, Costa Rica, and Panama. All these places. And, they may have had links with the Maya. They may have had links with the Muisca and the Tairona of the north of South America. It's just difficult to say, because it really was just a terrible genocide that ended all these people. Killing, disease killing 90% of the people there. And even the people that were, nowhere near Europeans were affected just as badly, because all it took was one person to contract a disease, then pass it on to the next village, So even the places that had never met a white person, they would die still the same. There was no natural immunity. The natural immunity had been hard won due to dying from the bubonic plague over and over and over again in the old world. And the new world didn't have any pack animals like the old world did. So these were zoonotic diseases that were contracted from cows and pigs living in close proximity to all these animals. So there was no natural immunity in this part of the world. As soon as the conquistadors turned up with big armadas of pigs, which they often did as mobile food, they'd take all these pigs with them that had all these diseases, and they'd just absolutely decimate the local populations. They didn't know they were doing it, but it's just, they did know they were killing and torturing the ones that they did kill, but they didn't think they were killing everybody. They wanted to keep them as their servants and slaves in their minds, and they wanted to try and, some of the Spaniards wanted to save their souls and make them Christian. But yeah, by the time it was all over, these were absolutely decimated landscapes, and many of these cities don't have any sort of links to the present. So they're kind of forgotten about. There's nobody left to speak for them now, very sadly. So yeah, we should all remember these guys. The intermediate area. I think there should be new names for these people. I'm sure John Hoops might tell me that there are new names for them. Look at this. Woo! Super cool. It's Panther. Feline deity? Or just feline. But yeah. What's this guy? Terrible quality image, but we've got some sort of mouse being with wings with sort of almost monster tops to them. Pretty cool. So that's the 10th forgotten ancient civilization. This isthmus region of Central America. Technically, it's in North America. And yeah, you can see these things in some of the museums in North America, because lots of archaeology has been done by people from the United States. And I highly recommend it. Yeah, I think that's the 10. Unfortunately, I'm sorry that this hasn't gone to plan. It was supposed to be, it was live last night until Riverside cut the thing off halfway through. But I thought I'd add on the 10th, bolted onto the end. We would have done quite a Q&A. There were loads of questions in the chat. There were 200 people watching it. It's all been cut off, unfortunately, in its prime. But if you do have any questions, put them in the comments down below. After this has gone live, and I'll try and answer them. To be honest, this is weird because I'm recording this the night before, but it's going to be live, appear live to you guys. I'll try and be in the chat and try and answer some questions as it's going live. This is very strange. I feel like I'm time traveling right now. I'm time traveling. All right, everybody. It's very late at night now, and you're going to have to go and try and sleep now. I've had too much coffee to try and sleep. All right, everybody. See you later. Oh, yeah, check out all of Dig It With Raven's book, her channel, her tours, all that good stuff. She's on all the social medias. Go and check them all out. And I'll see you later.